Today's headlines are dominated by a significant escalation in military tensions in the Middle East, with the ongoing Iran war intensifying. Additionally, we're seeing global economic implications stemming from these conflicts. Here are today's top 10 stories you need to know. Missouri has declared a state of emergency due to catastrophic flash floods that have severely affected numerous communities. The floods were triggered by heavy rainfall, resulting in rising water levels that have inundated homes and infrastructure. Emergency services have been deployed to assist residents, while local authorities are urging citizens to evacuate flooded areas. The National Weather Service has warned that these conditions could persist, putting additional pressure on already strained resources. This situation highlights the growing frequency of extreme weather events across the United States, which many attribute to climate change. As the state grapples with recovery efforts, the federal government may step in to provide aid. The long-term impact of these floods on local economies and infrastructure remains to be seen, but residents are bracing for challenging times ahead. Community leaders are calling for heightened awareness and preparedness for future weather-related disasters. Recovery efforts will likely take months as the region works to rebuild and prevent future incidents. Global stock markets have shown signs of recovery following a turbulent week influenced by geopolitical tensions, particularly regarding Iran. Investors reacted positively to a slight easing of oil prices and calming signals from financial markets. The recovery comes after a period of uncertainty prompted by President Trump's comments on the fragile truce in the ongoing conflict with Iran. Analysts note that while this recovery is a positive sign, it is still overshadowed by concerns over the potential for renewed conflict in the region. Market experts are closely monitoring developments, particularly the situation in the Middle East, which could have far-reaching implications for global markets. The interconnectedness of international economies means that unrest in one area can trigger volatility elsewhere. As traders remain cautious, the focus will shift to upcoming economic indicators that could provide insight into the resilience of markets amidst geopolitical instability. Investors are advised to stay alert as the situation unfolds, with many anticipating potential market fluctuations in the coming days. The ongoing conflict in the Middle East has escalated dramatically as Bahraini, Saudi, and U.S. fighter jets have intercepted Iranian drones over strategic regions. This military action follows a series of Iranian drone attacks targeting U.S. military bases in Bahrain and allied territories. The increase in intercept operations indicates a significant rise in military tensions, with analysts suggesting a potential full closure of Iranian airspace in response to perceived threats. This development is reflective of the broader geopolitical dynamics, where military posturing has become increasingly common. The implications of these actions could reverberate through global oil markets and international relations. The situation remains fluid, and further military engagements could escalate the conflict even more. Stakeholders are urging diplomatic solutions to avoid a wider regional war. As the international community watches closely, the focus will shift to any official statements from involved nations regarding their next steps. Israel's defense minister has signaled a readiness for potential solo military action against Iran amidst the escalating conflict. This announcement underscores a significant shift in Israel's military strategy, which may involve independent strikes against Iranian targets. The backdrop for this heightened preparedness includes a history of joint operations with the United States, yet current events suggest a more aggressive stance from Israel. Analysts suggest that Israel's decision reflects growing concerns about Iran's military capabilities and its influence in the region. The international community is watching closely, as such actions could dramatically alter the balance of power in the Middle East. This potential escalation could lead to increased hostilities and complicate diplomatic efforts aimed at resolving the conflict. As tensions rise, the focus will be on how Iran responds to any unilateral actions taken by Israel. The coming days will be critical in determining the trajectory of this conflict and its implications for regional stability. In a significant geopolitical development, 14 nations and the European Union have reaffirmed a ruling that invalidates China's territorial claims in the South China Sea. This decision is a response to ongoing tensions in the region, where China's assertive policies have led to confrontations with neighboring countries. The ruling emphasizes the importance of international law and the rights of smaller nations in the face of larger powers. The implications of this decision could reshape diplomatic relations in the Asia-Pacific region, as countries may feel emboldened to challenge China's expansive claims. Analysts believe that this development could lead to increased military presence from the U.S. and its allies in the region, as they seek to ensure freedom of navigation and uphold international maritime law. The situation remains delicate, with potential for both economic and military repercussions. Stakeholders in the region are advised to prepare for a heightened state of alert as diplomatic discussions continue. Market analysts are increasingly concerned over the likelihood of Iran closing its airspace as military operations intensify in the region. Recent Iranian drone strikes against U.S. positions have escalated tensions, prompting military responses from allied forces, which raises fears of wider conflict. The potential closure of airspace could have severe implications for international travel and trade, particularly affecting airlines that rely on routes in and around Iran. This situation has led to heightened market volatility, with traders reacting swiftly to the prospect of disruptions in oil supplies, which could drive prices significantly higher. The interconnectedness of global markets means that disruptions in this region could ripple through economies worldwide, causing alarm among investors. Companies in the aviation and shipping industries are advised to prepare for potential operational challenges and delays. As diplomatic efforts are sought to de-escalate tensions, stakeholders must remain vigilant. The coming weeks will be crucial in determining whether a peaceful resolution can be achieved or if further military action will alter the landscape of Middle Eastern geopolitics. In response to escalating tensions, U.S. military forces have conducted targeted strikes on Iranian assets following drone attacks on U.S. installations in the region. This military action marks a significant escalation in the ongoing conflict, which has seen increasing aggressiveness from both sides over recent months. Analysts highlight that the U.S. strikes are part of a broader strategy to deter further Iranian aggression while safeguarding American personnel and interests throughout the Middle East. However, this military response could provoke further retaliation from Iran, potentially igniting a dangerous cycle of violence that destabilizes the region further. The ramifications of these strikes are extensive, affecting not only military dynamics, but also diplomatic relations and global oil markets that are sensitive to Middle Eastern conflicts. Observers warn that the situation remains precarious, with any miscalculation from either side risking a wider regional conflict. As the U.S. navigates its military and diplomatic efforts, the coming days will be critical in determining whether a path to de-escalation can be forged or if tensions will continue to spiral. The United States has indicated a stronger military posture in response to Iranian aggression, particularly following a series of drone attacks targeting U.S. forces in the region. This escalation underscores a significant shift in U.S. strategy as military operations are becoming increasingly pronounced. The Pentagon has emphasized its readiness to take further action if necessary, reinforcing its commitment to safeguarding American interests abroad. This development occurs during a precarious time when geopolitical tensions are already heightened, raising alarms among international observers about the potential for a wider conflict. Analysts caution that the U.S. must navigate this situation carefully to avoid provoking an all-out war, which could destabilize the entire region. The ramifications of these military actions could extend beyond the Middle East, significantly impacting global markets, especially oil prices, which are already volatile. As the situation unfolds, the international community is hopeful for a shift back toward diplomacy rather than military confrontation. With the potential for escalation remaining substantial, it is crucial for U.S. leaders to engage with allies and seek peaceful resolutions. The Iran war has escalated dramatically, leading to far-reaching global implications. This ongoing conflict has triggered significant disruptions in oil markets, with prices experiencing extreme volatility as traders react to the increasing uncertainty in the Middle East. The potential for a wider regional war has heightened fears of supply shortages, compelling nations worldwide to reassess their energy strategies and seek alternative resources. This precarious situation is further complicated by the ongoing military actions involving U.S., Saudi, and Bahraini forces targeting Iranian assets, which raises the stakes for all involved. Economically, countries heavily reliant on oil imports are bracing for potential price hikes, which could exacerbate inflation and impact consumer spending patterns. The international community is struggling to find a balanced response, weighing economic interests against the urgent need for stability in the region. As diplomatic negotiations remain stalled, the outlook remains fraught with uncertainty. Stakeholders in energy markets are advised to remain vigilant regarding price fluctuations that could significantly impact their operations. In the weeks ahead, the trajectory of the conflict will likely shape not only regional security, but also the dynamics of global trade, particularly in energy markets, making strategic planning essential for businesses and governments alike. The military conflict involving Iran has reached new heights, with the U.S. and its allies ramping up operations in response to persistent threats from Iranian forces. Recent drone strikes targeting U.S. military bases have prompted a decisive military response, signaling a significant shift in the operational landscape of the region. This escalation has raised alarms internationally, as many fear it could spiral into a full-scale war. The long-standing tensions between Iran and the West have roots in historical grievances, including Iran's nuclear ambitions and its support for proxy groups across the Middle East. These factors contribute to a volatile environment that threatens to destabilize neighboring countries. The implications of this conflict are profound, affecting not only geopolitical stability, but also global economic conditions. As oil prices begin to rise amidst fears of supply disruptions, countries around the world are reevaluating their energy policies in light of these developments. The potential for wider military engagement looms large, with both sides preparing for further hostilities. Observers are calling for urgent diplomatic measures to de-escalate tensions, while military readiness remains a top priority for the U.S. and its allies. In the coming weeks, critical decisions will be made that could either pave the way for negotiations or intensify military confrontations, shaping the future of the region and beyond. Thank you for joining us for today's news recap. Which of these stories shocked you the most? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.